a boy, Dennis, and two girls. Jan was next, then Wendy, and then the youngest, Neville. We all went to school in Yarrawonga. The high school wasn't here when we first came up, but Dennis went up to grade 6 here, and then he had to go over to Wangaratta to the technical school. He learned a building trade there, and Jan and Wendy, we went up to high school because that was here then, and Neville, he went off to high school too. Jan and Wendy are both here. The other one's in Adelaide and the other one's in Melbourne for the boys. Jan's a nurse over at the Alloway. And Wendy's a nurse, but she goes out nursing from the homes. Oh, Dennis is an architect. He builds homes and things, you know, and designs places. And the other boy, he does a similar thing. They're all still alive, except Tom. He's not here, but his spirit is. He had cancer, which was brought on through the leg injury that he had. He had shrapnel in the leg, and but we had a very happy marriage. You know, we never had an argument, not one. I remember Dr. Wilkinson come one day and Tom had something wrong with his throat, and he said to Tom, "You two must have had a terrible argument for that to happen." Tom looked at me and said, "We've never had an argument in our lives, have we?" I said, "No." And so I turned around and said to Wilkinson, "Well, we've never had an argument." I said, "You might have, but we never." And Tom turned around and said, "No, you made a big mistake there, mate." We were living in, where were we, Kensington, living in a little house in Kensington. And then when Dennis was 4 years old, we came to Yarrawonga. Well, he's 60 now. I hadn't been here, but Tom had. He wasn't a Yarrawonga boy, but he had a mate up here that was in the army with him. And he said, "You want to come up to Yarrawonga and have a look at it?" He said, "You might like it up there." He said, "There's a butte lake up there." And he said, "It was a butte place, you know." And he said, "You want to come up?" So we came up and had a look, and Tom said, "Oh, this place will do me." He said, "Well, I'll find a bit of land." He said, "And we'll build a house." So we found 2 blocks of land. We built a house on one. I still own the other one. I sold the house, but I still got the other one. And it's on Murray Valley Highway. And Tom was a builder. He built, the first job he ever did was for Horry Prescott. He built him a pit with sheep to go down, sheep dip he called it. Yeah, that was his first job. And then he did a lot of work like that after. Then he ended up building houses. The one we lived in, and quite a few, yeah. They're all standing. They won't fall down. We made our own bricks and built it that way. When I first came up here, we lived in a tent. And then we built a tin shed. And we lived in a tin shed and made our bricks to build the house. And then we built the house. Then we moved in the house. And we're quite happy in our tin sheds and our tents. Now I'm here and I like it. Oh, they're all good. You couldn't get better people, could you? That's my life.